Welcome to X-Wing. I am told you have recently purchased the game and are looking for more information on what to purchase next in order to be competitive and have fun. I am fluent in over 6 billion forms of advice and would be happy to... Alright, I can't do that anymore. This is something I had from when I was a kid. You open it up, it's got figures inside. So, so maybe you're looking to buy another expansion or two. You wonder what you should get next. That's what this video is about. I'm going to talk about, what's best to get first. I mean, if you're on a budget or maybe you just don't have that much available. If you're like me, my very first purchase was a core set. I bought a few other ships too. I bought the Millennium Falcon and the Slave 1 set and the core set. So that was my first take home, and that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of stuff to play around with. But maybe you just bought the core set. Maybe you found it on Target on clearance, and you're wondering what you should do next. This is a very common question. One of the first things you might want to do is get a second core set. A second core set is a great way to go for the value. You're getting 3 ships. Plus you're getting a whole second set of dice, extra range rulers, a lot of tokens, a lot of the crucial stuff that you need. I mean, just the dice alone is a separate purchase. I think $15 is a retail price. Another X-Wing, 2 more ties. You're getting so much value for an extra core set. If you're going to spend a lot of money on the game, get 3 core sets. Can't go wrong there. All the ties. If you're an Imperial player, you're going to want to build a tie swarm. So having as many ties available as possible, the cheapest way to get ties is in the core set. X-Wings are also a really good ship. If you get 3 X-Wings, you can have a full build, so that's really good. Yeah. Okay, so let's say you're a Rebel player. If you're on a budget, it helps to pick a faction. So let's say you're starting with Rebels. I think I'm going to do these in order of priority, at least my suggestion. First thing you want is the X-Wing expansion pack. Now this one is painted, but they're going to look like a normal. It's going to look just like the one that you got in the starter. The reason you want the X-Wing expansion pack, I didn't get it first. I wish I had. Was because it has Wedge, and Wedge is one of the best pilots in the game. So it's very important to get him. If you're going to run X-Wings, you're going to want Wedge. The second one would be the Falcon Upgrade, the Millennium Falcon Upgrade. For one, this would be your first large ship. It's a really fun ship to play with. It looks totally awesome out there on the map. If you're playing in a store, people are going to be walking in. They're going to see, that thing. They're going to ask questions. Plus, you can put a lot of points on the Falcon. So if you only have the core set and a Millennium Falcon, I think you can get close to a 100-point squad. You could probably do it. I think so. Luke Skywalker and R2-D2. Yeah, you can be competitive with just the Falcon and the core set. If you have the X-Wing expansion and the Falcon and the core set, then you have a lot more options. So that's a really good build. The next one is I'm going to suggest the good old-fashioned B-Wing. This is my favorite ship in the entire game. I don't think anything's ever going to top the B-Wing. B-Wing, best ship in the game. It's really tanky. It has some good pilots, but even the base pilots are really good for it. And it's the only Rebel ship that can barrel roll innately. It's got a lot of things. It's got a system upgrade on it. It's got cannons. And the cannons are nice. And some of the things that can go onto the B-Wing are really good. But it actually has a pretty good maneuver dial, too. People give it a hard time because it's more of a tank, and they think it doesn't have... It's got a pretty good dial. So that's nice. And it's just my favorite ship. And 3 attack die, too, is always a good thing. Then next, I'd say a Y-Wing. Y-Wing's pretty tanky. It's got a lot of hull. And you can put a turret on a Y-Wing. Y-Wings with the Falcon, Falcon shoots 360 degrees. Y-Wing with a turret can shoot 360 degrees. So that's nice. Y-Wing can be a torpedo boat. It's got a lot of good stuff going on with it. It's nice. It was one of my last ships that I bought, but I like it. I have 3 of them now. Next is A-Wing. A-Wing is kind of like the Interceptor. It's very, very maneuverable, has a great dial. It can load missiles on it. Aside of the Falcon, it's the only Rebel ship currently that can load missiles. And it's got push the limit, which is a really good elite pilot talent. It's a lot of times, sometimes you buy expansions just for the cards, unfortunately. But the A-Wing's a decent ship. It's only got 2 attack dice, but it's got 3 agility, so it's a good ship. And it's got a Tycho, which is a really good pilot. So if you get it, look into fielding him. He's a lot of fun. You can do a lot with him. And then last on the list of what Rebel stuff to buy is the HWK. I put this one last because it doesn't have a K turn, so it has the worst dial. It can't move around very much. It only has 1 attack die, and it's like the weakest ship in the game. But it's very good for support, which, if you're just starting out, you need to get your core fleet before you get your support. It's got a lot of good support cards with it. It comes with a blaster turret, so it has a turret slot also, so you can use the ion turrets from the Y-Wing with it. You can put the blaster turret on here. You can do a lot with it, and it can be very effective, but it's better if you have a full fleet and that you can build this to complement other ships. Okay, so now maybe you're an Imperial player. So basically the first ship, just like with the Rebels, is get that TIE Fighter expansion if you can find it. This one was hard for me to find. I haven't seen it in too many stores. I had to order it online. But the TIE Fighter expansion, Howl Runner, it's one of the pilots. It completely complements every other ship in the game. It lets another ship reroll up to 1 of their attack dice. So it's really, really good in a swarm where all your TIE Fighters only have 2 attack dice. It almost kind of gives them 3. It's there's some math in there, but it's absolutely amazing pilot, and it comes in the TIE Fighter expansion. Only buy 1 of them though, because if you're going to buy, if you want more TIE Fighters, just get the more core sets. But you do need the 1 Howl Runner, and there's plenty of other really good pilots that come in the TIE expansion. So definitely get that. Probably the number 1 expansion for the entire game is the TIE Fighter expansion, unless of course you have no plans to ever play Imperials. But of course you're gonna, right? Who's not gonna play Imperials? They're so awesome. So Slave would be my next one. The Slave 1 expansion, or this is a fire spray technically, but it's a very good ship. It's maybe one of the best ships in the game. It's kind of tanky. It's got 2 agility. Most of your tanky ships only have 1 agility, so it was very defensible. You can load it up with a ton of stuff, and it comes with Boba Fett and some other good pilots, but with the really thing that makes it very, very nice is some of the cards that it comes with. Heavy laser cannon, has a proximity mine, which is nice. So next one, the TIE Interceptor, one of my favorite ships. It's very, very, very nice, and the TIE Interceptor expansion comes with a couple of really good pilots. I would actually suggest getting 2 of these. Maybe not right away, but Imperial Aces is coming out, so there's going to be plenty of Interceptor pilots in that. But there are a lot of good pilots in this specific expansion, and you'll be missing out. This comes with a really low-level pilot skill Interceptors, and Aces doesn't come with those. So if you get just 1 of these, and then Aces comes with 2, you're going to, let's say you wanted to field 3 really low pilot skill Interceptor pilots, you wouldn't be able to, because this is the only one that comes with the lowest pilot skill. Either way, Interceptors are awesome. People are going to be building Interceptor heavy fleets here pretty soon. I mean, as of today, they announced that Imperial Aces is on the truck. So, so in about a week or 2, we're going to have them. It's going to be awesome. The next ship, the Lambda. If you haven't seen this thing, the wings come down. And I almost broke it right there. So there you go. The Lambda's awesome. It's primarily a support ship, but it has 3 attack. So it's not just a support ship. It can shoot and it can kill stuff. Comes with the Darth Vader co-pilot card, which is really cool. Comes with advanced sensors. Comes with anti-pursuit lasers. Comes with a lot of really, really cool upgrade cards. The large ships tend to come with a ton of important upgrade cards. The Lambda has a really bad dial, though. I would not this is why it's farther back in the list of what to get. You can't K-turn. It can do a complete 0 maneuver. It's the only ship in the game that has a 0, so basically it's a red maneuver where it can just stop and not move at all for 1 turn and then get a stress. So that's unique, and that's really cool. But one of the problems with this ship is that as you're going down the map, once ships get behind it, it takes like 3 or 4 turns to turn around, at least in its default configuration, so it's kind of rough. Next ship, the TIE Advanced. The TIE Advanced is usually only used to fly Darth Vader as a pilot. This was Darth Vader's custom TIE from A New Hope, and I just broke it, but the wings they can glue back on pretty. Oh my goodness. Yep. Okay, so I need to go buy another one now. So, if you really like this video, you can mail me one to replace it, because this guy got lost in the line of duty. No, I'm just kidding. I can glue them back together. Anyway, that's funny. Anyway, the TIE Advanced is it's got 2 shields. It was the first Imperial ship to have shields. It's kind of underpowered. This is why it's farther back in the list. Most people don't like it at all. Darth Vader is a good pilot for it, because he does 2 actions per turn, which is really nice, just for free. He doesn't have to take a stress or anything. But he's expensive. He comes in at 29 points. So it's, people think it's overpriced. I tend to agree with them most of the time, but I actually own 3 of these. Well, 2.5 now. Because I really like some of the squads that I built with them, because people never expect you to play a TIE Advanced. So I have fun with them. I like that ship a lot, but I would never recommend it to a new player. Wait till you've been playing for a while, and then if you like the ship, and you probably won't, but if you do, then get a couple of them. I mean, because they were just on sale recently for $6. Guess what? I got 3. Last ship, the bomber. The reason I say this one to be last, well, it has a bad dial. It's not very maneuverable. It only has 2 attack, only 2 defense, no shields, 6 hull, so probably not going to get one-shotted first round. But at least in all the times I've seen people using bombers, they just require so much more. Like, you have to have, like, most bomber builds have to have a lambda, because a lambda can pass target locks, and they only hold 1 bomb, which I don't like. I mean, what kind of bomber only holds 1 bomb? Even the Slave 1 in episode 2 fires off 2 bombs, but the bomber only holds 1 bomb. To really load it up is expensive. I think you can fit like 70 points on 1 ship, on 1 bomber. So I might be exaggerating there, but it takes a lot to play them right, and when you do that, you're putting a lot of points into 1 ship, and with no shields and only 2, it's. I usually see them get destroyed before they deliver their payload, and I've never seen a bomber completely deliver its payload. So that's why I'm putting it last. I think it's just because it's got a little bit more of a learning curve, especially to deploy mines and deploy bombs and actually have them be effective. A lot of them can actually hurt your own ships if you're not careful, so it has a little bit of a learning curve. That's why I put it at the last ship to buy. So, yeah, Imperials. So the last thing is that there's going to be some ships that you're going to want to get, even if you don't plan on playing that faction. Specifically, the Millennium Falcon, the Slave 1, the Lambda, and the A-Wing. So the A-Wing has pushed the limit, which is really good for the other faction. It's really good on Interceptors, specifically Sun Tyr Fel. He's actually made for it. The Millennium Falcon has got engine upgrades, which are really good on a couple of Imperial ships. The Lambda has a ton of good upgrade cards. The Slave 1 has stealth device and heavy laser cannons. B-Wing benefits really heavily from Lambda upgrades and from Slave 1 upgrades. So I recommend just Googling the expansions, looking at the cards that come with them. There's a lot of information out there, but just know what you're getting before you get it. Even if you're only going to go Imperials, you're still going to need to get some Rebel ships just for the upgrades. So I hope you liked the video.